Welcome to Opinion Journal. I'm Mary Kissel. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. Obamacare takes effect on January 1st, and on that day, small businesses are going to be walloped with a great big new tax. Here with the gory details is editorial page editor Paul Gigot. Paul, what are they taxing this time?
Well, it's a tax on insurance, essentially, healthcare insurance. It's just one of the ways they hope to finance the bill, and it functions like an excise tax on the sale of an insurance product. So it's allocated across not all insurers, because there are a lot of who are exempt under the rule that the IRS wrote. So if you self-insure, like a lot of big companies do, a lot of union plans do, you're exempt. So that means more of it's going to fall on the backs of small businesses and others who buy through other markets.
Now, we're talking about some pretty big numbers here. $8 billion next year alone, yeah. $101 billion over the next decade. I mean, what is that going to mean for cost?
Well, it's going to add costs, right? These are almost certainly going to be passed along to consumers in the form of higher premiums and higher prices for their insurance. So, and to the extent that that affects small employers, small businesses, that'll add to their costs. And there's, by one estimate, the consultant Oliver Wyman says it could hit $500 per head per employee by the end of the decade. And that's a pretty big hit when you think about the other costs that ObamaCare is going to be imposing on small businesses. So, you know, it's hard to project how much this will affect job creation because there's so much that goes into that overall picture. But at the margin, this adds to the burden of hiring a new employee, which means you get fewer employees.
Yeah. And I think Democrats argue that it's actually the insurance companies who are going to foot this bill.
Well, sure, that's the eternal, it's like the corporate tax, right? I mean, nobody who says, well, just corporations pay corporate tax. Well, no, the literature is very clear. The people who pay the corporate tax are employees, shareholders, and customers in some way. So that's the way that this will be passed along too. The interesting thing, though, in Congress is you have a move afoot to repeal this, and it's a bipartisan move, and there are 229 co-sponsors already. That's a majority, and so it'll probably, when they move it, if they want to move it, pass the House. But of course, it'll probably die in the Senate, where Harry Reid will try to prevent a vote.
Paul, about a minute left. We are entering an election year, and I think some of that bipartisanship in the House reflects that. Democrats are worried about their prospects in the midterms.
Yeah, a lot of the House Democrats in particular who are in marginal seats, and Senate Democrats in purple competitive states, want to go on record as distancing themselves somewhat from some of the worst impact of Obamacare.
You think that Harry Reid could change his mind in the Senate, given this growing opposition in the House?
I think that he'll take his cues, as he always seems to, from the White House. And if the White House is saying no, we'll veto it, he will not want to put the president in a position to have the veto. So what he'll probably do is give some of his competitive Senate senators a pass to vote for it, but make sure that it is blocked and will not get 60 votes.
Okay, well, the rolling debacle of Obamacare continues. Editorial page editor Paul Gigot.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.